Hey everyone, me Kevin here. In this video, I'm going to review whether or not Tesla is a buy based on the latest information that came out today regarding not only the nonsense going on over at Nikola, which isn't directly Tesla related, but more importantly, the fact that Walmart is now signing up for a ton more Tesla semi-trucks. How is this going to affect Tesla's bottom line? Does it even make a difference in Tesla's bottom line? Is it a reason to buy the stock? How does it fare into the future value of Tesla stock? Let's put all of that together right now in this video. And of course, remember, I do have courses linked down below, which you could check out on stocks, real estate, very popular. Most people start with 0 to millionaire real estate investing, then go into money and psychology. And of course, there's even a course for making YouTube videos. And I think I just said course like 17 times. So let's get into saying Tesla 17 times. All right, regarding Tesla, according to Electric, and this was also picked up by Business Insider, Walmart Canada has ordered 130 semi-trucks from Tesla, increasing its spending on deposits to $2 million in reservations alone, just on semi-truck reservation. Now, just for giggles, in the event that you were interested in reserving a Tesla semi-truck, which I probably don't know where you would park the darn thing. I suppose if you didn't have a container, you'd have a pretty cool semi-truck. But in the event you wanted to reserve a Tesla semi-truck, which Walmart just did, you have to go to the reserve tab, and they will actually collect from you an initial payment of $5,000 via credit card for your first semi-truck, followed by a $15,000 wire transfer on your first one as a deposit. And then for every extra semi-truck you want, you have to send them an additional $20,000 wire transfer, and you will not get a reservation unless you actually send the wire. So very interesting. They're actually collecting payments here. So these aren't like Nikola reservations. These are like real reservations. But anyway, Walmart Canada states they are tripling their reservation of Tesla semi-trucks to innovate their business and prioritize sustainability. They go on to say that they plan to convert 20% of their fleet to electric by 2022, and they're going to convert their entire fleet to some form of sustainable energy by 2028. Now, at this point, it's doubtful that this other source will be hydrogen. I honestly, and I have to just be clear about this and get this off my chest, I've mentioned it before, but I had hope for Nikola's ability to Trojan horse the hydrogen market. Forget about Trevor Milton and all the madness of Nikola at a moment, but think about it. You can't really get hydrogen infrastructure like fueling stations and hydrogen production facilities until you actually have demand. So you kind of have this chicken or egg problem where it's like, well, until you have demand, you don't get the infrastructure. But until you have the infrastructure, you don't get the costs down and people don't invest in hydrogen trucks. The Nikola Badger was so interesting because it was dual fuel. It was electric for pickup truck plus hydrogen as well, 250 miles each, which interesting concept. It might have even been as high as 300 miles each. Interesting concept. But at this point, we realize that was all just a vision. So for now, it's doubtful that we're going to see hydrogen. Nobody else is really pushing this space hard. And the areas or the companies that are, like Toyota with its hydrogen Mirai, not really going anywhere, okay? Those sales have been declining. There was one year they ticked up, but they went from like 4,500 sales to 5,400 sales. It's still nothing. So it's unlikely this other source of sustainable energy is going to be hydrogen anytime soon, though we'll see. Walmart says they'll go entirely sustainable by 2028, which if it's not going to be hydrogen, it might be Tesla, which we'll talk bottom line implications for that here. By the way, it's also helpful to note that at the same time as we're kind of talking about Nikola here, apparently now GM is putting the closing of their partnership with Nikola on hold, pending the SEC investigation, the Department of Justice investigation, and the fact that the founder, Trevor Milton, is now being accused of sexual abuse by two people. One of them, that was his cousin when she was 15 years old. But for now, let's understand, why would Walmart Canada sign up for more Tesla semi-trucks? Isn't electricity like really expensive? What's the scoop? Let's do some math. Walmart Canada said the Tesla semi-truck uses less than 2 kilowatt hours per mile. So I did a little bit of math using this. I was able to find out, well, given that I own a Tesla out here in California, where it's probably a little bit more expensive to use electricity, you tend to pay around 12 cents per kilowatt hour for electricity. The Tesla semi-truck uses 2 kilowatt hours per mile. So 2 times 12 cents, that's 24 cents on average per mile that the Tesla semi-truck would cost. Okay, 24 cents per mile. Got it. Put that aside. It's like a quarter. Every time you go a mile on the highway at 60 miles an hour, think about it as if you just roll down the window, and every time a minute goes by, you're taking a quarter going boop, boop. Jeez, expensive to drive semis. Anyway, comparing this to diesel, this was actually surprising. At $3 per gallon for diesel, and I'm assuming future prices, and I know diesel is less expensive in some areas, it's more expensive in some areas, but remember we're talking like 2022, 2023 and beyond. So let's just go with $3 per gallon of diesel, and you can kind of scale it from that. An average truck gets about 5.6 miles to the gallon. That works out to a cost of 53 cents per mile on average. So now you roll down the window in your semi-truck on a diesel and you're going every minute 60 miles an hour, you're taking 2 quarters. Ding, 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 ding. Jeez. So that actually makes it very simple to realize, like, wow, if they can charge at 12 cents a kilowatt hour compared to $3 a gallon for diesel, that means the Tesla semi-truck would cost half as much just in fuel alone. We're not even talking maintenance. They expect this Tesla semi-truck to just crank for 1 million miles without maintenance on the thing. We'll see. It's just rumor mill right now. But it could be. I mean, the engineering is absolutely phenomenal. Now, not only does Tesla or Walmart Canada say this, but they also say that they've bought more of these Teslas or reserved more of these Tesla semis because the vehicle has a 500-mile range fully loaded, which allows the vehicle to go to its destination and back without charging, per Walmart. It's capable of going 0 to 60 in 20 seconds, which I guess is a big deal fully loaded for a semi-truck. It can climb a 5% grade at 65 miles an hour, essentially full speed, whereas a diesel usually caps out around 45 miles per hour. And they cite that the vehicle is safer. They didn't mention the real selling point, but let's be real. The cool thing about, like, my dream one day is to get into the Tesla semi-truck and just go boom, boom, and it's on autopilot. That's gotta be nuts. Autopilot on the semi-truck, geez. Anyway, so let's analyze this. Is this Tesla semi-truck news something to buy Tesla off of? And let me be clear. I'm a fan of buying Tesla, so I don't want to hear the oh my gosh, you're just bagging on Tesla things. Okay, no, I'm a fan of Tesla. Tesla is my largest holding in my stock portfolio, and lately I've been buying the stock. Last week I bought the stock a couple times as part of my portfolio. So usually my 1337 is what I use. You could see that by going to metkevin.com/1337V11, and you'll see my favorite stocks and the ranking of my favorite stocks. But let's analyze the semi-truck, and you'll get to see how this will sort of potentially impact Tesla's stock price, if at all. So, in order to do this, we have to first figure out what kind of market share we would expect Tesla to have. Here are 8 classes of trucks that sold between 2007 and 2018 by brand. What we could see here is that at no time over the last between 2007 and 2018, at no point have more than 250,000 semi-trucks sold. That's the 250,000 line right there. And at no point did we hit 250,000. So let's go high here. Let's say for whatever reason, because of the Amazon revolution and the pandemic, that we're gonna need more semi-trucks because there's gonna be more shipping and more logistics and more distribution. And let's just say, by 2024, we end up having 250,000 semi-truck sales in the United States per year. Really, what I'm just doing is kind of maxing out this box right here. I think that's reasonable, especially since, these trucks, they last a while too. All right, 250,000, so 250,000 trucks per year. Well, what does that tell us data-wise? What kind of profit and revenue could we expect from Tesla? So I slapped together a quick spreadsheet here and assumed, okay, let's say we have 250,000 vehicles that get sold in 2024. Let's say Tesla gets a penetration of 10%. That's high, okay? I'm purposely going a little high right now because right now the Mack truck, it has a penetration of about 7.2%. Now we'll play with this in a moment. The price per semi-truck is about $200,000, okay? And that's your price. The profit margin at scale on the semi-truck realistically is probably gonna be somewhere around 25%, but let's give Tesla a little bit more. Let's go with 27%. Let's say they really get these costs down on the batteries and there's no competition. Well, that's going to work out to an annual revenue from semi-trucks, of around $5 billion. And when I apply that 27%, I get to an additional profit of about $1.3 billion. That's pretty good. That's decently substantial. $1.3 billion of additional profit. But how does this actually apply or compare to what we think Tesla's revenue will actually be in 2022? And then we'll get to see what kind of realistic impact we think these semi-trucks would have. Okay, well, this is our typical spreadsheet that we've looked at in the past, and we believe by the end of 2022 that Tesla could produce somewhere around 2.5 million vehicles. Well, 2.5 million vehicles at an average selling cost of somewhere around $46,000. This could potentially go down, especially if they bring out the 25,000 model vehicle. You know, we could take that down to 40,000, 35,000 to be a little bit more conservative. They will have more expensive vehicles. But what we could see here is that with 2.5 million vehicles produced, their total revenues from sales are going to be around $100 billion by the end of 2022 if they hit these targets. And then if we include energy and services and, you know, the full self-driving, the leases, we include all these things, Tesla's revenues could be in the neighborhood of over $100 billion by the end of 2022. So an extra 5% in revenue, an extra $5 billion in revenue here for semi-trucks, it's not actually going to move the needle that much. But what if we change the percentage, the penetration, right? The percentage penetration. Let's try that. First, let's erase a little bit of what we have here, and let's see what the stock price would be here. Let's go back a little bit. Let's make the revenue per vehicle like we had at $40,000. There we go. And we've got our profit margin here we've got a profit here of 28% on sales, or 72% for expenses. We've got a little bit of a higher tax rate, just assuming the corporate tax rate goes up. That could put Tesla stock somewhere around $684 at the end of 2022, looking at these numbers using a 40 times earnings multiple. And realistically, Tesla's earnings multiple might be much higher, then especially if they still show this potential exponential growth. But the interesting thing is, over here on the sheet, we only used a 10% penetration. Freightliner has a penetration of about 40% of the market. If we gave Tesla, even just to be conservative here, a little bit conservative, a 25% penetration, okay? So pretty high. There aren't that many semi-truck manufacturers. Let's go to 25% penetration. That's $12.5 billion worth of revenue. Let's go back to our revenue here. Let's go to total revenues. Let's change this again. We got rid of the 5 bill. Let's now add 12.5. So 12.5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That should get me to about 133. Yep, 133, 250. Okay, good. I added the right amount of zeros. That could get us to 771. That's almost a $90 increase if they get that crazy penetration. That's not bad. That's actually really, really good. This is better than I expected. Now, would I buy Tesla solely because of this semi-truck news? I can't say that I'm gonna ramp up my purchases of Tesla now. I already have Tesla on my new purchases at 12% of my portfolio. So every time I put $1,000 into the stock market, $120 of that is going to Tesla. I'm pretty heavyweight on Tesla. But what I will say is, this extra semi-truck revenue is nothing to laugh at. This is actually substantial additional revenue. Not only is this substantial additional revenue, but think about it this way. If you start seeing Amazon Prime semi-trucks, Walmart semi-trucks going down the road with the Tesla logo on it, think about the marketing that does. That says, oh my gosh, the UPS and Walmart and Amazon, they're using Tesla semi-trucks. Those must be affordable cars. Boom, you go buy the $25,000 Tesla. And I'm not saying that's gonna be what tips you over the edge, but brilliant marketing. Even though it's a relatively small percentage of what we're expecting for their total vehicle sales and total vehicle penetration, because the reality is, you know, even if you got 50% of the semi-truck market share, there aren't that many semi-trucks that sell every year compared to like individual cars. This has some serious implications for the stock price long term. And they're not bad implications. I mean, you could almost add this in as a free like safety net bonus, you know, because right now it's obviously speculative in terms of what kind of penetration Tesla's gonna have, because guess what? There ain't no semi-trucks on the road from Tesla yet. Obviously, they actually have more than prototypes. They actually have actual semi-trucks that are available, but production lines aren't open yet. We don't expect the semi-truck production lines until the Gigafactory in Austin is open, and we don't have structures yet. We still have dirt. So we got some work to do, but to me, this is actually pretty exciting and makes me enthusiastic about the brand. There are so many different areas of really the world that Tesla is nailing. And especially with this latest Nikola drama, Tesla's coming out as a big winner here. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this, make sure to subscribe, consider sharing the video, follow me on Instagram. You can also follow me on Twitter, and check out the courses down below. Get life insurance in as little as 5 minutes, and of course, get 2 free stocks with Webull when you sign up and deposit just $100. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later.